All right. So the official synopsis for Mortal Kombat 2021 reads as thus. In Mortal Kombat, MMA fighter Cole Young, accustomed to taking a beating for money, is unaware of his heritage or why Outworld's Emperor Shang Tsung has sent his best warrior Sub-Zero, an otherworldly cryomancer, to hunt Cole down. Fearing for his family's safety, Cole goes in search of Sonya Blade at the direction of Jax, a special forces major who bears the same strange dragon marking Cole was born with. Soon, he finds himself at the temple of Lord Raiden, an elder god and the protector of Earthrealm who grants sanctuary to those who bear the mark. Here, Cole trains with experienced warriors Liu Kang, Kung Lao, and rogue mercenary Kano as he prepares to stand with Earth's greatest champions against the enemies of Outworld in a high-stakes battle for the universe. But will Cole be pushed hard enough to unlock his arcana, the immense power from within his soul, in time to save not only his family, but to stop Outworld once and for all? Let's see here. The movie was directed by Simon McQuaid. It stars Louis Tan as Cole Young, Jessica McNamee as Sonya Blade, Josh Lawson as Kano, Joe Taslim as Baihan/Sub-Zero, and Makad Brooks as Jax. Okay, so guys, without doing spoilers, what would your spoiler-free impressions of Mortal Kombat be?
It stinks. Everything's a spoiler.
It was a letdown. It didn't deliver what I was expecting. Yeah.
I thought I was going to vomit, but then I shit my pants.
I mean, yeah, I did not like the movie very well, but I can't say I was let down because I had bad expectations for it to begin with. Just because, like, you know, most video game movies suck to begin with, and I feel like ones based on fighting properties, there's just less to work with narratively, so I didn't have, you know, huge expectations. I thought my best hope was that it would be kind of like so bad it's fun, and it has some of that in there, which we'll get to, but yeah, overall, it didn't really do it for me. All right, guys, we'll get into spoilers now. As we're taping this, it's Tuesday. We watched this movie on Friday, and I got to be honest, I don't know how much of it I can remember, but maybe you guys can fill in the blanks.
Yeah, so we're just going to start like at the beginning and run through?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll go through and kind of remember as much as we can. So the movie starts off in the past, like, I don't know, several centuries, right?
Right, a number of generations ago. And this is probably arguably the best part of the movie.
I would say so, too.
So the opening is actually not too bad.
Yeah, so the opening...
in Japan.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if it's Japan or China.
Well, the guy who gets killed is Japanese, and then what's weird is Sub-Zero is like interdimensional or whatever, but he's also Chinese.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was the other way around, but maybe you're right.
I'm pretty sure Sub-Zero is the Chinese guy.
Okay. But so there's this kind of older guy, and he loves his family, and like he has two kids. One that's like maybe a couple years old, and then one that's just a newborn baby. He goes out to fetch some water, and while he's away, Sub-Zero comes, basically looking for him to kill him. But since he's not there, he basically kills the mother and the older child, freezes them to death. And what he doesn't know is that the little newborn baby is like hidden like under the floorboards. So then, like, the guy who's fetching the water, he notices that something's wrong, or I think he maybe hears something like his wife or scream or something. I don't remember. Anyway, he runs to the house and he finds their frozen dead body. So, like, he knows, I think, that Sub-Zero is the one behind it. I think he must know that Sub-Zero exists, or at least that's the impression I got. And then, so then, like, all of Sub-Zero's minions come and they start attacking him. So first group he like dispatches with a sword, and then like another group comes, so he takes a rope and he ties like a dagger to it. And so this, I already got the impression, like, I kind of put it together like, oh, okay, this guy's related to Scorpion somehow, right? So yeah, he's like takes out all these guys, you know, swinging the chain, right. And then he finds Sub-Zero, and they fight, and basically Sub-Zero gets the upper hand and fucking stabs him, and he dies. Sub-Zero goes off, and he like sadly tries to like crawl back over to his family, and he just like dies, and then he like his body catches on fire,
into flames,
and we kind of think that's the end of him. Then Raiden shows up, and you know, out of nowhere because he's got those powers.
Yeah, then he takes a baby.
Yeah, he takes the baby, and that's kind of the beginning of the film. I got all. Does that sound right? I got mostly right. So then we're flash forward. It's modern day. We're introduced to Cole, Louis Tan's character. He's an MMA fighter, and I think like we get the impression that he basically loses a lot.
Yeah.
He gets paid a couple $100 to take these fights, and he usually gets his ass kicked. And that's what happens here. He oh, and like at the same time, like we're introduced, he has a wife and daughter, and like the wife doesn't like to watch him fight, but the daughter's like in his corner or whatever.
Yeah, and the daughter actually like gives him good advice, and like he doesn't take it, so he gets beat up.
Yeah,
Don't get punched in the face, Dad. I didn't listen.
So while he's like fighting and losing, Jax comes in and kind of watches the end of the fight, and then as he's in the back, Jax coming, he confronts him. And I don't remember their exact conversation, but like I don't know how the birthmark comes up, but maybe the daughter mentions it. I don't remember.
It comes up later, but like of all of them that have that mark, he's the only one that's had it through birth, apparently. Which is also kind of weird because why hasn't Raiden like raised him properly to be a warrior? Instead of like a wimp.
Yeah, you would have thought Raiden would have kind of kept tabs on that whole line of people.
Instead of like, oh, we're having a big tournament in a month. You better get your shit together, buddy.
Yeah, because he could have just been like a guy that ate donuts and sat on his couch, you know?
Right? Like this guy wasn't ready at all.
But at some point when they're like in the back of the gym, like somehow the birthmark comes up because the daughter's like, yeah, it kind of looks like a dragon or whatever, and he quickly shows it to Jax. And this is another thing I thought was kind of stupid because like if it was a birthmark that kind of vaguely looked like a dragon, I'd be like, okay, but it looks like just like the Mortal Kombat symbol, and I'm like if you had a child that was born with a birthmark that looked just like a dragon, like wouldn't that freak you out or make you go, I think maybe something weird's going on here, but whatever. So they leave, and like him and his family are eating at this restaurant, and all of a sudden he's like, oh, it's starting to snow, and that's because Sub-Zero has somehow tracked them down.
Right, so they've decided to come to Earth and like kill the champions before the tournament.
Yeah.
Which they're like fighting one-on-one with these people who have the mark or whatever. And it just doesn't make any sense. It's like you're gonna fight them one-on-one at the tournament anyway. What's going on?
Well, that's the whole kind of crux of this film that didn't make any sense because
there was a prophecy. So like at the 10th tournament, the prophecy was that the Earth realm would win. So they were trying to
sabotage.
Yeah, sabotage the tournament before that could happen.
Well, they made this thing of like saying like the other realm had won like so many times, and they're like, if Earth loses this tournament, then
they'll invade.
They'll invade, and Earth loses.
But there's also this weird thing where there's like these apparently powers higher than like Raiden and all these like super gods or something, and like they are the enforcers of this tournament. And like one of the rules is like you can't like fuck with the planet beforehand. And they're like, oh well, they don't really care.
They're lazy.
And it's like what the
it's confusing. The rules are very ill defined. It's like, does there have to be a tournament or doesn't there? And apparently there doesn't really, as we will find out later.
And Raiden's not allowed to interfere, but he interferes like a few times.
Yeah, like all the time, and he kind of has to because like the other team's like cheating, I guess.
Yeah.
But anyway, Sub-Zero tracks him down, and like he's icing the streets, and he's gonna kill him. And then Jack shows up and kind of drives them out of there. And then like Sub-Zero is like following them, and I don't remember exactly why, but they like stop I think Jax is like, okay, I'm going to hold him off with my gun. You guys get the fuck out of here. Or something like that.
He goes off by himself.
So Jax goes into this building where like Sub-Zero's trail is leading him. And then I think this isn't a big spoiler because it was in the trailer, but they get into a fight, and this is where Sub-Zero freezes Jack's arms and breaks him off because he had to lose him somehow. Yeah. Anyone who's played the game knows that he has to get him.
It looked pretty cool. The special effects on that looked pretty good to me. I liked it. I was like, damn.
Oh, the break.
Yeah, that looks sick.
Better than the arms, which we'll get. Yeah. Okay, so that happened. I'm trying to think. So Jax, like before they split up, he was like tracked down Sonya Blade. So Cole tells his family that, I better track down this Sonya Blade character. So he goes to this place and jumps over the fence, and he finds her. And we find out like she's in this bunker, and she's been doing all this research to find out what's going on. I thought this was funny. I mentioned this to him. It's like they're trying to make this look like this bunker place is kind of a shitty, place. And they have like a computer monitor from like 1995 just to hammer home that this place sucks. Like a monitor that would probably be like hard to find in this day and age.
And the research, like the whole, like we found out this whole backstory of what's going on, this tournament and everything or whatever. Like Sonya Blade and Jax, like that's so played out. We've seen that in every movie where somebody like takes a clue and unravels it and finds out the whole mystery.
Yeah.
And puts it together on a board.
Yeah, this whole board. Like, yeah, you're right. That is used a lot. Yeah. And so we find out that Sonya has Kano there. He's like captive. I don't remember what the story was. How she?
Yeah, I don't know if they really explained that backstory.
I think they briefly did, but I wasn't paying close enough attention. So they're there for a minute. They have like some back and forth, and then Reptile invades, and Reptile in this iteration is like. Because in the game, like, I mean, I haven't played.
He looks like Sub-Zero.
Yeah, I haven't played a game, one of the Mortal Kombat games in forever. But yeah, he was traditionally just kind of looked like Sub-Zero and Scorpion, but just colored green. Yeah. Here he's an actual reptile that can go invisible, and so they have this whole thing where they're trying to get him. And at one point, like Sonya, like throws a knife. And it misses and goes into Kano's leg, right?
Right. It's like, that looks pretty bad. Like Kano's up and going like a few minutes later.
Yeah.
And like Reptile slashes around like Kano's eyes and scars them to, just like Jax. They're like, we got to get these guys' like origins out of the way, But eventually, they kill Reptile, and man, this is like one of the first things that annoys me that they'll do multiple times in this movie is kind of shoehorning things from the game in there. So of course Kano rips out Reptile's heart, and he has this bleeding heart in his hand because that was his fatality back in the day or whatever. Okay, so then Sonya, for whatever reason, like Kano's gonna leave, but she's like, I'll pay you $2 million to help us out.
Right, he's supposed to lead them to Raiden's palace or something.
Yeah, and I don't know why he knows where it is. I don't remember the clue that leads him there.
Also, why does he believe that?
Yeah.
I would want to see that statement first.
And like she even mentions, like after he leaves, like, I don't have $2 million. Are you kidding? I live in this dump with the 1995 computer. There was one funny bit where like Kano like hawks a loogie on the ground, but it was like went into the hand of this garden gnome. Right. That was like one of the like few laughs in the movie. The
little foreshadowing too, because she uses the gnome.
Yeah, later on she uses that. Okay, so now they're like walking through the desert because apparently that. Yeah. I don't know what the clue was that led him there. But
also, that is weird. Is like Kano took him there to drop off so he could lead him there, and he's like, 35 days. It's like you couldn't have landed him a little fucking closer. 30 fucking days.
Yeah.
We also found out somewhere that Kano has the marking, but in his case, he like killed somebody and it transferred him.
Right. Yeah.
And then like if someone kills him, it'll
maybe,
transfer to them.
Yeah.
which happens later on.
Yeah, which has to happen because for whatever reason, Sonya's on the trip and she doesn't have a mark. So she's got to get her mark eventually.
So they're on the desert, and then all of a sudden Liu Kang just appears, and he's like, "Oh, I was looking for these guys," or whatever.
Yeah, he's just wandering the desert looking for champions.
Yeah, he's like, "Let's go this way," which is like the opposite way they were going.
Yeah.
How many miles did he go before he found them? You know?
Yeah, he's like, "Okay, we'll walk in the exact opposite direction that we're walking."
Yeah,
and that leads him to this like monastery place.
Right, which comes back to the what's his name not being trained, because him and the other guy with the hat, they've been there training and they know their special skills and everything.
Liu Kang,
yeah.
So, I don't know.
So yeah, they go to this place, and this is where they meet Raiden, I believe, and he kind of tells them that they all kind of fucking suck or something. I don't remember exactly. We also find out that after Jax got fucked up by Sub-Zero, they brought him here and they've been like working to heal him, but he's still like unconscious. So then they have this fight pit where they're like, only people with the markings can train to fight here. So in this case, it's Cole and Kano.
Right. Sonya's not allowed to fight, even though she's probably the best trained.
Yeah, yeah. And so, like, Liu Kang and Kung Lao. Actually, I think we missed a scene because Kung Lao was introduced because, like, some of the Otherworld people come and try to, like, fuck up the joint. And Kung Lao appears to help Liu Kang. And that's when Raiden shows up and he makes a barrier like around this whole thing.
Right.
Because, so this is coming back to where we said, like, there's supposed to be this tournament, but basically Shang Tsung's like, oh, we're not doing the tournament. We'll just kill you guys now. And Raiden's like, no, you won't. I'm putting up this barrier. So
I was like, well, that was easily, taken care of.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make sense. Why is Raiden following the rules so much if Shang Tsung's straight up killing people, you know?
Yeah. All right. So then they start training, and basically, like, Liu Kang and Kung Lao are basically just beating the shit out of Kano and
Right, because they've discovered their magical powers.
Yeah, Liu Kang shoots fire, and Kung Lao can manipulate his hat, I guess, is his power.
His hat and it spins.
Yeah, it turns into a buzzsaw.
Yeah, he can kill something like that. So.
And they tell him that they're looking to get these guys as arcana, which is, like, everyone apparently with a symbol has some sort of power within them. They call their arcana, and so they're trying to, like, find out what that is in their case. But they're beating the shit out of Cole, and it's not coming out. So finally, like, they're having a dinner, and like, Kung Lao and Kano, like, start talking shit to each other, and, like, they get Kano, like, all pissed off, and then all of a sudden he shoots the laser from the video game out of his eye, and, like, apparently that's his arcana, is that he shoots the laser out of one eye. How random are these arcanas, by the way? I mean, it's so random. Now, at the same time, Sonya, since she couldn't fight, she, like, went and talked to Jax, who woke up. And then this was the other funniest part of this movie, is they give Jax metal arms. But the version 1 of these arms are little baby arms.
Yeah, they're like little skinny chicken arms.
It's such a funny visual, like he's punching that punching bag.
He's a big swole guy.
Yeah, he's like
little arms.
Yeah, he's like that huge, like, Jimmy Olsen guy from Supergirl. He's like this huge fucking guy, and he's got these little baby arms. It's just funniest visual, man.
Couldn't do anything with him.
Yeah,
he was worthless.
I'm gonna need you guys' help. Okay,
So
what
that-
happened after this?
So then after Kano gets his powers, at some point he he turns on them.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
he,
yeah.
His
he fries Raiden's staff or whatever, which is apparently maintaining the force field.
Yeah, so at one point we go to the before that we go to the other world, and Shang Tsung enlists the help of Cabal and guy with the big hammer.
Whoever that
And
was.
Melina.
Yeah, Melina.
The big guy with the 4 arms. Was
Goro, and the woman that can fly. I don't remember her name. She has like big wings. Okay, so yeah, the Cabal guy, he ends up having a conversation with Kano. Apparently they used to be in a gang together or something, and he convinces Kano to, like you said, like screw over the team. So yeah, Kano destroys Raiden's staff or whatever, brings down the barrier, and so then this fight ensues between all the people, right?
Well, the one guy went back home because he hadn't discovered his magic power.
I don't think that happens quite yet, but because don't they fight for at least a minute?
Yeah, I think they have that fight, right?
Do they? Because I thought like they sent like individual people to fight certain individual people.
That comes more towards the end though, because before they do that, they have like this fight with all of them, I think, and this is where Kung Lao. He kills the flying lady by using the buzzsaw, like buzzsaws her in half, and of course he's like flawless victory because that's another thing they got to shoehorn their little catchphrases from the game in here. And then Shang Tsung, I think some of the other ones are fighting, but Shang Tsung grabs Kung Lao and sucks his soul out.
Right,
so
the soul sucker.
Yeah, so he kills him here, and then I think this is where they kind of break apart, and like you were saying, I think they send the one guy home.
Yeah, he went home because he didn't have his power, so he was a liability, and that's where Goro comes and attacks him.
The thing I don't really remember is at the same time, like what's going on with all the other people.
Right, there's various different fights.
Yeah,
I don't remember everybody who fought everybody.
Like, yeah. When did Jax get his power?
I think that happened somewhere in here. Like he gets thrown. Him and Sonya like get thrown, and then this rock like comes down on Sonya or something, and then he takes his little baby arms and he's like, ah! And then out of nowhere, apparently his arcana is to I don't know, manipulate metal or matter. I don't know. He turns his baby arms into big old metal arms like from the game.
They transform out into
and he picks up the and this is something I thought was so stupid is like, okay, there's this other dimension, right? So Kano and Jax's powers are really dumb. Couldn't they have done something like they could have had like Reptile totally take out Kano's eye, and then couldn't they just say, oh, there's this technology from Otherworld, like he gets a bionic eye that can shoot a laser beam, and then Jax just from the get-go, instead of the baby arms that transform into the big arms, they could have just gave him the big arms to begin with. Yeah. That would have made more sense, right? Instead of having them saying that this weird arcana power is this like random bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know what Jax's story was there for a while too. I was just like, is he gonna learn to fight with these baby arms? Like, I don't know. That was strange to me that they made that a thing.
So they sent the one guy home, but then immediately, like he's with his family for a little bit, and he's like, "Oh, I hear something outside in the storage shed," and they had transported Goro, like into his storage shed. So they start getting in this big fight, and at one point, like Goro's about to kill him, so his wife comes out and like hits him with an axe. Then Goro turns, he's gonna kill the wife and daughter who like drive a car at him or something. But then, like, since his family's being threatened, his power comes out. And what is his power? What would you call it?
It's
armor.
Like, yeah, it's like, remember in Black Panther where you like if you hit his suit, you like basically get that power and
he can absorb the power and like transfer it back into fighting.
Yeah,
but it like manifests in weird ways because so he, like all of a sudden this suit grows on him that does exactly what you're saying with the like Black Panther, but he could also like he turns it into like clubs at one point.
Oh yeah,
like batons.
Yeah, it's a little bit like
it's that knife too or whatever.
Yeah, and so basically because he uses a knife to cut off Goro's arms or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, his power, like, yeah, he absorbs blows and then he manipulates it in whatever way he wants to, I guess. And anyway, he kills Goro. So then somehow Raiden and all the good guys end up together. They go into this void or something. Or maybe that was...
Right, somehow they end up in a place where like they can't be attacked. Or something.
Yeah. This white void where they can't be attacked. And so then they come up with this bright idea. They're like, well, since these guys don't want to do the tournament, we're going to bring the tournament to them. And so Jax is like, I'll take the hammer guy. And they all kind of split off. They're like, yeah, Raiden, you can transport us. So transport me against this person in this place, me against this person in this place. And I'm like, why don't they just gangbang all these fuckers? They could transport the bad guy and all of them at the same time, gangbang that guy to death, and just repeat. But no, they got to be all honorable, you know. Yeah. So Jax is against the hammer guy. He makes like short work of him. It's not even a fight really, and like he uses his metal hands to like clap his head in the mist. Liu Kang fights one of them, and of course he does his fatality where he like lights this pool of whatever on
like a pool of oil.
Yeah, conveniently there's a pool of oil. And he puts the guy in it and sets it on fire, turns that into a dragon and eats the person. And then I think he even says fatality because they got to get another video game reference in there. So yeah, I think they're all pretty much winning their fights, and then
Sonya gets in a fight too with Kano.
Right. So Sonya and Kano get transported back to their little shitty bunker place
to save money on set costs.
Yeah, exactly.
That was kind of weird. Like, why was Kano back there?
Yeah, why would he go to that place?
Well, that's where they were transported, I guess,
to get that money.
But yeah,
like there's $2 million around here somewhere.
And then the very final fight to save money takes place at that gym that they are.
Oh right, yeah.
So yeah, they're definitely trying to keep costs down with this movie. I will say I thought some of the CGI was kind of weird. Like
some of the props too. Look
Reptile
cheap.
and Goro all like at times look a little funny, like Uncanny Valley type of shit. Yeah. So they're fighting, and like you mentioned earlier, they bring that garden gnome back around. She stabs him in the eye,
with
and that's how he dies.
Yeah, I kind of knew that was going to happen when they were outside. I was like, here comes the gnome.
So then his mark transfers to Sonya, and she gets some sort of weird like powers where she shoots green out of her fist or something. Oh yeah, and she shoots like a clear round hole through somebody.
Through Melina.
Through Melina,
right. Yeah. It takes out like everything in her except for like her spine.
Yeah, which is totally intact.
Yeah.
It destroys soft tissue. It's not.
So at some point when all this is going on, So Cole, he goes back and he's helping fight one of the bad guys. I don't remember which one. And so that gives Sub-Zero a chance to go to his house, kidnap his family. He takes his family to the gym because we got to reuse that place. And he like freezes the whole gym, and he freezes them into like kind of a little cocoon reminiscent of the family at the very beginning of the film. Am I missing anything? Was there anything between like...
There's probably some other stupid stuff, but I think we got a lot of
I think you're getting the gist of it.
Yeah, so anyway, I don't remember how he finds out, but he finds out that his family's in danger, and so I think Raiden transports him there.
Right, because they're fighting.
Oh, that's right, because he actually Sub-Zero shows up, or somebody shows up, like, with his family or something, or showing that he's got their family.
Oh, he had that daughter's, like, wristband or whatever to prove it. Right. That's what happened. Okay. Because he's trying to lure Cole into a fight. So Cole goes there and they start fighting. And this is the thing that makes him so ineffectual is basically Sub-Zero would have just straight up fucking murdered Cole. Yeah. If not for at the last moment, the guy from the...
Well, you're missing like one point.
Oh, go ahead.
At some point, Raiden gave him the... what is it? It's like a dagger with a rope.
Oh, yeah,
and he's basically like, your ancestors will be with you you if you carry this or something.
That's right. I forgot about that bit. Yeah. So he gets that dagger that Scorpion used at the very beginning of the film. Anyway, he's about to just straight up be killed by Sub-Zero when all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a spike goes through Sub-Zero, and we find out that it is the guy from the beginning of the movie. Like when his body was burned at the beginning, apparently that just transported him to some sort of hell dimension.
Right, he was in hell, and like all these years he's been fighting to get back.
And also, while he was in hell, Hanzo learned English.
Right.
He was straight up from Japan like hundreds of years ago.
Well, it's very diverse in hell.
Yeah.
So yeah, he comes back, and basically him and Sub-Zero start fighting, which gives Cole the chance to go and try to like break his family out of the ice.
Yeah, he goes and like he's hitting icicles off of this ice chunk or something.
Yeah, and I don't think he's doing a very good job.
He's very ineffectual.
He's going slow as hell.
Oh, and then also, I thought this was so stupid because the other guy, Hanzo, he's like, not Hanzo anymore, Scorpion. Just to say the name, but there's not really any reason for it other than just to reference the game.
Yeah.
Which is like if you're going to choose a name, seems kind of weird since like when you're in hell, he mastered fire or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could have been like, I'm Fireball.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't really make sense. So yeah, they fight for a while. This is where you get the scene from the trailer where he like Sub-Zero like hits him, blood comes out of him, he freezes the blood and stabs him with it.
That was pretty cool.
And then for some reason like Sub-Zero goes back and starts fighting with Cole. And then basically Cole and Scorpion then just start like double teaming Sub-Zero,
Right.
and like beat the shit out of him. And then of course, because it's from the video game also, finally Hanzo, Scorpion, takes off his mask and he shoots fire and burns Sub-Zero to death. And that then the ice melts and his family gets out and they're alive.
Yeah, I was pretty sure they were already dead in there.
Yeah, I know. They'd been in there a while.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't take that long to freeze to
Yeah,
death.
you would think they would already be dead at that point.
And then Hanzo goes back to hell. Like, he was only there for that short trip.
And then not a lot else happens. I think Raiden and Shang Tsung have a discussion that'll set up a sequel that we'll probably get a review eventually.
He's coming back with armies.
With armies of people. And then, was there anything I missed or anything else you guys wanted to mention or talk about?
I did notice at the beginning, like, Hanzo has, like, 2 buckets of water. And that reminded me of when Liu Kang was using water. Like, he eventually killed Sub-Zero with it. Like, in that first movie.
I haven't seen that in a long time, but yeah, that does, I think you're right.
Yeah, I thought he was going to use the water, but he didn't. So that was something that kind of stuck out to me.
You know, I did notice that at times, like, the score of the movie had like a subtle reference to that old Mortal Kombat theme.
Yeah.
But I thought maybe they could have used it a little more like the original theme. I don't know.
Yeah, I like the original theme. They're perfect.
It's kind of like the iconic thing from that movie.
Yeah, everybody remembers that. Yeah.
All right, guys. Final thoughts and your final score out of 10 for Mortal Kombat.
I already gave my score.
4?
4.
Yeah, I'd give it about a 4.5.
Yeah, I'm right in there. 4.5. It's not great.
Yeah.
It's definitely skippable.
Yeah. I would have liked the tournament to happen.
That's another thing. You don't really know right off that the tournament is going to happen. Well, you suspect it's going to happen. It's all supposed to be leading there. And then it's all these small skirmishes, and like you're like 2/3 away from moving. You're kind of like,
are we doing this or not?
They're not going to have a tournament, are they?
Yeah, I thought it would have been much more interesting if they had the tournament than what they ended up doing.
Mm-hmm. These were all just kind of side fights that
turned into the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought there was a lot of lazy writing. Like I said, the whole Arcana thing and how it manifests in people like Kano and
Jax was
and Jax. That is the best part of Baby Arms Jax.
I thought I was going to be seeing some Baby Arms Jax memes.
I did too, actually. Maybe we should make some.
Maybe we got to fire it up.
Yeah.
People don't want to spoil the best part of the movie.
When Jax finally gets his arms. That's the whole point of the movie right there.